Hi, it's Tech Thursday. I'm Cassie, and so you can see there's a little space right here. Nicole's in a meeting that she's going to join when she's done with that. So fortunately, no one sent any questions in from last week, so no one gets a haiku this time, but I will extend that offer for next week. And just to refresh your memory, if you didn't see or don't remember, we offered as a bit of incentive. If you would like to submit a question to us beforehand, I will make you a haiku and read it in the next broadcast. So this first question is something I kind of realized based on a meeting from earlier in the week that I kind of knew the answer to, but I didn't know how to articulate it well. It's one of those things that I don't know, like I can think about it, but I never really thought about explaining it to someone else. So the question is, what's the difference between a domain and hosting? So here's the explanation. A domain is basically your right to use a name. So we're breakingeveninc.com. We have to pay for that identifying little thing. And the host is where your actual website and all the stuff that's on it lives. It's like your real estate, like how much space you take up on the internet. And that includes your email. So most of the space that gets taken up is email, so we have breakingeveninc.com. And then we have all the information like Nicole at Breaking Even Inc., Kassie at Breaking Even Inc., like all of that is in our hosting. And the part where I got a little confused is a lot of companies like GoDaddy, for example, they will offer both domain and hosting. So you can go to them and be like, I want this name and I will pay you, like, it's usually like $10 a year maybe. And since buying a domain name doesn't necessarily generate a lot of money, they'll offer hosting too, and that will cost a little bit more. And we have some videos about how much you should be paying for hosting, and just paying attention to like, what are you actually paying for? For instance, some hosts require that you have secure certificates on your space, and you might have to pay a little extra for that, but they make it a requirement. Trying to think of some other things that you might have to pay a little extra for. It really just depends on what your website needs, and you might have to take up a little more space and then you pay a little extra. So that's that question. Our next question is about AdWords. So you may have AdWords and you may have done that with Google. Again, we don't really do AdWords, so I'm kind of grasping at straws with this one. But if you're trying to search for a keyword that you've bid on, for instance, I'm trying to think of a good one. Let's see. Blueberries. I'm looking at blueberries right now. So you bid on that word. And you try to type it in as yourself just to see if your ad will come up. And it's not showing up. And that kind of makes you angry because you just paid for this keyword. So not cool. Why is that happening? There's a couple of reasons why that might be happening. When you search for your business name or keywords and you don't actually click on them, Google kind of will run this whole algorithm thing. So you may have noticed, like, it's not going to show you the same ad every time you type in a keyword. Like, a different ad will come up because it just assumes since you're not clicking on the ad that you're not interested in it. So it's not going to keep giving you the same thing because Google is smart like that. So if you are just like refreshing and trying to see, like, your ad comes up the first time, but you don't click on your ad and you just kind of keep refreshing, it's not going to keep showing up if you're not actually clicking on the link, because it assumes like, oh, this person doesn't like this, so I will try to give them what they want, whatever that may be. Another thing, you may need to use incognito, which I don't know a whole lot about incognito, but it's a Chrome thing. So I'm going to wait for Nicole to come back to talk about incognito, because I think she might have a little more insight with that. Let's see. Yeah, so basically, when you're looking at it through incognito, you get a more accurate idea of what people who aren't you are going to see. And then our last sort of, it's not really a question, it's kind of a cool little trick. So I mentioned earlier secure certificates. You may have noticed, so we've talked about secure certificates a couple times with Tech Thursday stuff, but secure certificate, like you can tell if a website has a secure certificate based on the little HTTPS, and the S is for secure. And there's usually like the little lock thing on it. So Facebook has it, Google has it, Twitter has it. Your website may or may not have it, but you can check. Oh no, it's not working. Oh, there we go. So if you right click on the little padlock, you can see when the secure certificate on a website expires, which is good to know, because you don't, if you are, for instance, a business that is selling stuff online or taking money online, you want to make sure that your secure certificate is always active and on and like renewed. Otherwise, your site's not going to take payment, and it's going to just like mess everything up, and no one's going to be able to order anything. And then you have to like stop and figure it out, and then people aren't happy, and then you're not making money, and that's kind of a bummer. So if you go on the little padlock, you just right click and you can see when it expires. And that's kind of a cool trick that we learned. And if you have any other questions for us, you can submit them ahead of time, or yeah, just let us know and we will answer your questions. All right, we will see you next week. Bye.